What up, little boo-boos? Shabbat shalom. We are on the precipice of sunset here, so maybe I'll get in kosher timing. We are here for our weekend reflection message, and I'm really loving it. I'm really feeling the energy, and it is very on point with exactly where I'm at and what I'm focused on and what I'm doing right now. And I hope it is for you guys too. And I have a feeling it might be. So the reading itself, when we see the cards, trigger warning. These are not desirable cards to see, or at least the words and the imagery might be startling, but I think it's a really positive message, so just hang in there. All right. So with no further ado, we have, by the way, I just had the funnest couple of days off. I've gotten a lot of work done, a lot of homework done. I've gotten a lot of fun. I've gotten a lot of housework done. Had a nice bath. I'm gonna cook and probably have a bath again and do some more homework. And I've gotten to take walks in the woods and walks around the airfield park and do all kinds of stuff. So it's been really fun. It feels like time is expanding. So focus on what you would like to expand, and perhaps that thing, what is it that you need, that you feel that you need more of? For me, I could always use more time. And so I feel like time has been expanding in a way. And I've been able to do more within it. It's really interesting. And then if you want to if you need to work with time and you need to expand time, or you need to make the most of time, you can work with Archangel Metatron. Also in Kabbalah, it is thought that his name, or their name, has so much power within it that it is best to say Met-Tat, or shorten it to MT or something like that, because it is so strong. Okay, because it can, if it's unchanneled and just flying around, it can create unintended chaos, little things ricocheting about. Have you ever seen Lock and Key? Do you know when they open the door? I don't know where you're at the series, but and little pieces of the other realms come through, and it's chaos, and it takes it becomes embodied in people, and it possesses people. Kind of like chaos, raw, unadulterated potential from the other side, from the unmanifest, from the void coming through without any kind of intent, can create just chaos. It's just not channeled energy. It's like electricity just firing off like lightning everywhere. Okay, so off that tangent. So from the Radiant Sun Oracle, we've got Jupiter in Scorpio, which is manipulation. We have the Sun in Scorpio, which is endurance. And then we have Venus in Aquarius, which is detachment. Clarifying the manipulation card, we have Five of Pentacles with the Devil. Underneath endurance, we've got Eight of Pentacles. And then underneath detachment, we've got Six of Cups. Okay, so the manipulation card, without thinking of it as negative manipulation and trying to control or anything like that, just think about Jupiter paired with Scorpio, and this Sun in Scorpio with the endurance card. I feel like this is the Mars and Scorpio side rather than so much the Plutonic side. And I feel that this is the fighting warrior energy of Scorpio. So this Jupiter in Scorpio here with manipulation. This is more like a magician here with the 3 stars above crowning their head, symbolizing like, I think, supernal wisdom and like higher awareness and higher knowledge of the cosmos and the inner working of the cosmos. And so it might have something to do with the crown of Solomon too, if I'm not mistaken. And so this is like a person who has learned to be a co-creator with divine. Jupiter is expanding the like strategic side of Scorpio, the side that can be Machiavellian in the shadowy end, but also very strategic and battle ready and ready to take action and make a proactive plan, take a proactive approach. So manipulation with the Devil and the 5 of Pentacles. So as a whole, with all the cards in context together, the overview is like a message that's saying, okay, hold on, before I get to that, it's like, where do I start with the, do I tell him what I'm going to tell him, and then I tell him, and then I tell him what I told him? So the Devil card here with 5 of Pentacles. This is the core like lesson of the Kabbalah student, which is we are working towards perfecting our vessel. We are elevating and correcting and healing and bringing into balance our soul in order that we might be more like God, more like the Creator, more like the light. We're building affinity with the light of the Creator so that we can share affinity and cleave close to the Creator. This is like true spiritually, metaphysically, metaphorically, like quantumly, like this is true. So in order to become more like the Creator, we begin to practice the discipline and restriction of restricting the consciousness to want to receive for the self alone, and instead we receive for the sake of sharing. So when I see this Creator who is sort of like, maybe it's like you want to be a co-creator and you want to direct your destiny, right? And you want to present something to the world and you want them to take it a certain way. Whatever you do in this life, whatever you're creating, whatever your business is that you're starting, whatever relationship that you're starting, whenever you go to send that text or like make that pitch or make that offer, make sure that you are in a consciousness of like a giver consciousness rather than a taker consciousness. So in many instances, Kabbalah likes to separate and contrast states of consciousness and group them into pairs that are like opposing pairs. And so one pair of examples of states of consciousness is giver consciousness versus taker consciousness. And so if we are going into, say, like if you are doing like a marketing for a product, right? And you want to get your product out there. If you are coming at it from an attitude and you're running your whole company on an attitude of return on investment, what's in it for me, when am I going to see the results, you will burn out as a leader and as an entrepreneur. And also you won't reach your audience because you have to come at your business and your mission, your purpose, or whatever you're doing, whatever work you're putting your hand to, as a vessel of the light of the Creator. We are channels for the light. We are ambassadors for the light. So we want to show up with a consciousness of giving. How can I bring value here without worrying about the results, without focusing on the return? How can I show up and give authentically or express authentically, right? But coming at this from a consciousness of sharing rather than what I can get in return. Even something as simple as, say, you are in a staff meeting, and this is something that happens like every morning before you start your workday, and there is just this one person that, like, even though everybody, like, it's like redundant that you're there anyway, and it's like you just don't say anything unless you're actually bringing value or like making a point or like bringing up something that's important or asking a question that other people need answered. But like people who want to just earn their check or prove that they should, like, I gotta make sure everybody knows that I'm worth my check, so I have to say something, like feeling like obligated to say something, or like wanting to say something to prove that you were there, or just because like you want to love hearing yourself talk and or whatever, you like to bask in that moment. It's like that basker, that toothless boob at the meeting that like has to say something every time. Everybody's like, oh my God, like I could have just gotten started with my job. Like that is the taker consciousness versus and like, oh my God, this is like so modern speak. I feel like with pop culture and pop psychology and like lots of relationship lingo going around. It's like everyone wants to be like, can I share something with you? And it's like, okay, maybe. Are you manipulating me? Like, are you forcing me into this? May I share something with you? It's like, oh, so that I'm obligated to be like, yeah, okay, great. You know? So it's just like, where are you coming from in any given situation? So it's like, am I trying, like when I'm at a table, am I focused on hoping that these people have a great experience? Or am I just focused on, well, are these the kind of people that I think are going to tip me? And it's like, no, if I was coming at it with that attitude, I would get like terrible tips every time. But you just have to like bring the service, bring the value, be like a humble giver of your goodness for goodness sake. You want to add light into the world without thinking about what it's going to return. Because when you come at something with a consciousness of sharing, you don't have that same burnout. You have like excitement. Like when I have reading clients, that is like something that does take a lot of energy. But at the same time, I come out of it so charged because I feel like I was able to share so much, and it was so purposeful, and it just was like, I wasn't worried about if I went over time or if it was just like, I just don't think about it at all. And so it fills me up. And the things where I'm like, whenever I'm on the channel here and I'm like, oh, when am I ever going to get growth? When am I going to have a growth spurt? That's usually the consciousness that drains me and makes me feel like I'm not where I'm supposed to be because I'm expecting results. I'm too results oriented. So if you have like, if you're going to market something, right, have your focus on, like in copywriting, we learn that you don't want to focus the attention on you and why you're so great that people should buy from you or whatever. It's more about focusing on the audience and the problem that they have and solving their problem and what you can give to them and what you can share. As content creators that had like gotten huge and built a huge audience and then built an audience that would then buy their books, from publishing companies, they always said, and then they would go on to create courses, they weren't like holding back. They would give, the most helpful information they could. They weren't hiding anything. They weren't holding anything back. Sure, in their courses, they might go into more depth, but they're not like, hoarding information. So they would give value, and that's why they built an audience that would read their emails and show up like religiously to watch their, episodes, and they would buy their books and be excited, waiting for the next thing to come out. So manipulation card isn't necessarily like being evil and manipulative. It's like, how are you showing up in a compelling way that adds value? Because if you show up from a consciousness of what can I get and what's in it for me, you will end up not successful. The Five of Pentacles card is about poverty and loss and being left out in the cold with no resources and spiritually impoverished. So if you come at this with simply the attitude of, okay, what's going to get the most likes? What's going to get the most return? What's going to get the most results? What's in it for me? When am I going to get to see the benefit from this? Then you're going to get depleted, and you're going to probably not be monetarily successful either. And you're going to incur loss. At the very least, you're going to feel like you're going to lose passion, and you're disconnecting from your deeper why that you wanted to do to begin with, which is exactly what the opponent wants, right? The opponent wants us to throw us off our game, so that we're not following our higher calling, so that we're not sharing our unique gifts and talents with the world, so that we stay small. The devil, look at this, the opponent wants us to stay here out on this doorstep, beholden to the illusion that we're stuck, that we're trapped, that we can't do any better, so we keep self-sabotaging, right? So instead, the way to foil the devil and turn that energy, kind of kung fu it around and use it as momentum for us, is to just, before you take action in any way, before you write an email, before you compose a post, before you send a text or whatever it is, center your focus and make sure that you are choosing to have a consciousness of, how can I give? How can I share? I don't want to think about what's in it for me. I just want to bring value here. So how can I give? How can I share? And how can I think about how I can be of service to others? Remember when the Course in Miracles says, I am here only to truly be helpful. I am here on behalf of He who sent me. And I am happy to be where He has me. And tell me where to go, what to do, what to say, and to whom. I can't remember. It's like, I didn't exactly get that right, but it's a variation of that. I don't know where it is in A Course in Miracles. I can't remember. I tried to find it recently. It was hard to look up. But you can, don't get discouraged, because you have endurance. Yay, power through, perseverance. We've been getting the Chariot card a lot recently, and the Chariot card is heralding success, but not without hard work and discipline and balance and focus. So again, this card is like, look, don't come at the situation impatient for it to, yield results immediately. Don't put your focus on that. This is going to take diligent effort and endurance and determination. This is that fighting spirit of Scorpio, the sun in Scorpio. It's like the warrior who has the power of total transformation, of death and rebirth as well. So it's funny, this man, I can't remember what Bible character it is, but is it Daniel? Who wrestled the lion? Whatever, this character is a man wrestling a lion. And so it's like with us within, it's like we're wrestling the lion within that wants to consume us, that wants to procrastinate our time away, that wants to self-sabotage, that wants to cut corners and do things in a way that ends up making costly mistakes later. So the endurance card, the lion within, gets distracted and wants to, shift our attention and follow the fun, shiny object to run after. So we're wrestling with our inner will, our self-will, our self-determination, and our inner discipline. And so, yeah, it's not going to come without hard work. So we can't delude ourselves into thinking that this is going to be like some easy payoff or something that's going to be something from nothing. It's going to take effort, and it's going to take a diligent effort, and it's going to take study and self-mastery and mastery of a skill. The Eight of Pentacles is long, projects that are ongoing. That this is the student card, this is the apprentice, this is the entrepreneur starting a business or learning all the new skills that come with starting a business. And so when you're an entrepreneur, it's you're never finished learning some new thing and getting some new workflow, and then having to meet the demands of some new you got to do this now, and it's just so you're a forever student, you're forever just kind of chipping away. So you have to be that devotee. You have to be the happy apprentice, ready to do the work. And then detach from the outcome. Detach from the outcome and try not to get emotional, but just really find a sense of inner peace. Venus with Aquarius, it's like Venus's shadow side is like always so worried about everyone being comfortable and everyone being happy and everything being beautiful that they find it hard to let go and be free and relax many times because they feel so attached to everyone's feelings and, you know, their perceptions. But the Aquarian is like a rebel and they don't care. They're a radical. They think, you know, their thinking is very like independent. They're not thinking about everybody else oriented. They're thinking about unity in the whole, but like in a close-knit way. Like, yeah, they're thinking on a grand scale. They love humanity, but they are not necessarily preoccupied with everyone's needs in their immediate vicinity. They're in their mind. So this is kind of like a good balance for that Libra, that Venus energy, where you can detach and you're not codependent and enmeshed with the feeling emotionally responsible for everyone else. So you need to detach from the outcome also for yourself and just give this your all and put your heart into it. Be intentional and be disciplined, but find freedom in that discipline and don't overthink what will be successful. Just connect with your creativity and your authenticity and use that voice that's coming through. And then, yeah, maybe have like know the rules so you can break the rules kind of thing in art and whatnot. But like ultimately, don't be too formulaic or contrived in the way that you approach what you are doing right now. So keep that consciousness of sharing and keep that authentic, like real you coming through, detached from the outcome. And so the Six of Cups here, I feel like there's two ways that this message is coming through. On the one hand, I feel like this goes back to the whole, with the advice for us, it's like don't remember or think of something as better or worse than it is or was. So don't get up in a fantasy world about this new venture and think that it's going to be better than it is or worse than it is. Don't think that wherever you are in the midst of it that you're better than you are or worse than you are. Just stay grounded and detached and keep a beginner's mind, keep that student mind to just keep making adjustments, keep learning. Don't be too attached or too precious about anything. Alternatively, as you are extending a pitch or an offer here, right? The little fella here is offering the little girl a vase of flowers. So imagine that you're making a pitch or that you are making an offer, that you're trying to write a sales page or you're trying to write a treatment for a script or something like that. You want to, let's go back to the sales page example. You want to invoke desire from your recipient by like making them feel nostalgic or reconnecting with something that inspires their inner child. Maybe like a dream that they've always had, or maybe the part of them that still believes that change is possible, not the jaded adult within, right? Appeal to the inner child, entice that inner child, right? While at the same time, like knowing that if you want to make a good offer, it's like you have to invoke emotion and cause like sympathetic feelings and nostalgia, and you get the emotions going. Whilst at the same time, you have to kind of be unemotional and detached from whatever this venture is giving you, right? Like, I think it was Liz Gilbert, or I can't remember who said this for sure, but they were talking about their dream, their like book or whatever it is that they're creating. That's like their baby. And they want to work to support their baby, and they don't want to expect their baby to work to support them, right? So this is like, it's like putting that pressure off of that and not expecting it to deliver, but just so doing what you can to show up with this gift and putting your authentic best foot forward in it and letting your higher self lead. And then eventually things will come. I think that if you present your offer or your sales pitch or whatever your invitation is in that way, and from a heart of sharing, from a heart of authenticity, and you can connect with people emotionally, then that is something that can be compelling and positive. But we just don't want to get focused on the end result or trying to get someone to take an action. It's like we can't focus on that. We can't focus on the conversion rate. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's when you have like a piece of content that causes someone to take an action, right? So it's like the conversion rate of how many people see it versus how many people do something. So we're not focused on that, but just the content or the meat of what we're creating or the product for the product's sake. And then we worry about margins and all the rest of it and take that approach. All right, you guys, I hope you have a good weekend, kind of letting that settle in. And I think that it's just a shift in consciousness where that's how we approach the way we make decisions and the way that we structure things that we're setting up and building. All right, good luck out there. Shabbat shalom. Ciao.